There's a popular saying that fortune favors the brave. But what they don't mention is, those brave souls often look foolish until they don't. If you'd seen me in the early 2000s awkward, obsessed with Mars, and flying to Russia to buy used ICBMs, well, maybe you'd have thought I'd lost my mind. And so did almost everyone else. But for me, this was the moment where the impossible was simply the next target. Welcome to my memory. Not the highlight reel, the raw version. The history of SpaceX the way I lived it. Would you have risked your entire fortune for a dream to reach beyond Earth? Let's see if you'd have done the same. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and mention where you are watching from in the comments. My journey didn't start in Silicon Valley. It started as a lonely kid in Pretoria, devouring books, Heinlein, Asimov, Douglas Adams. When I was 9, my classmates saw planets in the sky. I saw potential homes. But at that time, my dream seemed as distant as the stars themselves. It wasn't easy standing out. I got bullied a lot. But books gave me a secret world, one where we were already among the cosmos. Little did I know that stubbornness I had, then the refusal to believe something was impossible, would become my greatest asset years later. My first real adventure wasn't cosmic, it was digital. I co-founded Zip2, then X.com, which became PayPal. For most people, a big payout in their 20s means luxury. For me, it was fuel. Finally, I had the resources to aim higher, and nothing on Earth was high enough. The question burned inside me: why hasn't humanity become a multi-planet species? I wasn't content just to ask why. I asked how. I wanted to inspire humanity. My first idea was a little absurd. What if I sent a small greenhouse to Mars? A demo. Something that would make people care about interplanetary life. I called it Mars Oasis. Sounded simple, right? The reality, well, let's just say it was a crash course in humility. I flew to Russia 3 times. Imagine the scene. Me and a team of engineers negotiating with men who thought we were kids playing at war. I tried to buy refurbished ICBMs. They laughed, thinking I was a joke. The price was ridiculous, and more importantly, the signal was clear. If I wanted to launch a new age for humanity, I'd have to start from scratch. They say necessity is the mother of invention. For SpaceX, it was the mother of reinvention. I gathered the best engineers I could find, sometimes straight out of college, sometimes out of established giants like Boeing. The space industry called us crazy. Our first warehouse was scrappy, our budget lean, and energy was off the charts. We worked so late and so relentlessly, sometimes crashing under computer desks. We believed insisted rocketry could be made affordable by doing things in-house and rethinking every single part. If you had just cashed out of a big tech company, would you risk it all on a dream so big everyone laughed at you? Tell me in the comments, what's the biggest risk you've ever taken for something you believed in? We dreamed up Falcon 1 as our humble opening. A new, nimble rocket to prove affordability didn't mean unreliability. Every system had to be invented, tested, fixed, sometimes 3 times a day. Our brilliant engineers slept on shipping containers. We built test rigs from junkyard scraps, but the dream was alive. It all came down to the uninhabited speck known as Amalek Island. Marshall Island so remote, we joked that if we failed, at least no bystanders would get hurt. Picture this: everyone's dreams and savings riding on a 70-foot rocket, swarmed by tropical insects, humidity clogging our computers, and then the countdown. The first launch went down in flames. Literally, total failure. Some faces collapsed in despair. But me, weirdly, I felt relief. We'd gotten one out of the way. Now nobody could say we hadn't tried. Second launch. More troubleshooting, more hope. Result? Crash. As months blurred, our funding bled away. Each failed attempt made investors twitchy, headlines mocking. People asked why I kept pouring millions into burning metal. There were nights I stared at the stars, thinking, am I risking everything for a fantasy? Has anyone watching ever felt alone, fighting for a vision only you can see? When has everyone doubted you? How did you push forward? Share your story. We all need reminders that failure isn't the finish line. By our third failed launch, I was nearly broke, both financially and spiritually. PayPal money was gone, every sleepless night bet on this. No one would have blamed us for giving up. My own heroes, the people who sent Apollo to the moon, had government funding and public approval. I had debt, skeptics, and one shot left. Still, I told the team, if this doesn't work, it'll be the most epic failure in startup history. But we will not walk away without swinging. The 28th of September 2008. We'd scraped together funding for one final attempt. This is it, I told the team. We pressed the button, hearts hammering, and Falcon 1 defied gravity. For the first time, a privately developed, liquid-fueled rocket made orbit. The control room erupted. Some people sobbed, others just ran in circles. Me? For a moment, I was just a kid again, giddy, disbelieving that impossible dreams could become reality. The very next day, NASA called. That first contract, a massive $1.6 billion to help resupply the International Space Station, rescued us. One day, from bankruptcy to the birth of a revolution. Spacex would live, and so would the hope for a multi-planetary humanity. If you were on that launch team, what would you have done the night before? Planned a backup? Written goodbye letters? Let's hear your all-in moments. Falcon 1's success didn't mean we'd made it. It meant we'd leveled up to a much harder game. NASA's contract gave us new fuel, but also new pressure. If Falcon 9 failed, all hope for affordable spaceflight might die with it. Critics called us reckless for skipping incremental improvements, but that's not how you change the world. I told the team, we dream big, or we quit. Falcon 9's secret wasn't just more power, it was reusability. In traditional aerospace, rockets were trillion-dollar fireworks used once, discard forever. But imagine if airliners worked this way. Even engineers at NASA thought rocket reusability was science fiction. Our first testbed, Grasshopper, looked like a metal scarecrow. Onlookers expected a spectacular crash. Instead, it hopped and landed upright. That early, yes, became the rallying cry. Land it, recover it, refly it, the only way to beat the cost equation. Years of trial and error followed. Ocean splashdowns, fiery crashes. Again and again, we were told it was a waste of time. But every setback taught us. With every failed landing, we got closer to the day humanity would watch a rocket touch down, ready to fly again. December 2015. A Falcon 9 booster rose toward orbit, and for the first time came home. It landed, upright. The tech world went silent, then exploded. It's one of the few moments I really let myself feel proud. I hope, watching from anywhere, you realize the barrier wasn't physics, it was just thinking differently. I wonder how many people, after that moment, returned to their own impossible dreams with new conviction. If you did, tell me. Your stories inspire me as much as I hope mine inspires you. But payload wasn't our only ambition. The Dragon capsule marked our leap into crewed spaceflight. People's lives on board, no room for error. In 2012, Dragon became the first commercial spacecraft to dock with the ISS, opening a new era and proving the private sector could shoulder the dream once reserved for superpowers. Did you watch the first rocket landing live? Or the first Dragon arrival at the ISS? Where were you? And what did you feel in that moment? Share your SpaceX memory. The best ones might get featured next time. It hasn't all been victory. Rockets still explode. Tiles fail. Starships shatter. But that's the ethos. Test fast, fail fast, learn always. And while some see chaos, I see evolution, each mistake a gift, each hurdle an invitation to climb higher. People think being relentless is glamorous. The truth, it's sacrifice. Birthdays missed, fatigue, fear sometimes, yes, even doubt. But that's the cost of breaking boundaries. It isn't just about me, it's the team, my friends and family, everyone who believed when belief was costly. Falcon and Dragon were always stepping stones. The real vision, Starship, fully reusable, heavy lift, built to carry humans and cargo to the moon, Mars, and beyond. Insane? Maybe. But humanity never left the caves, crossed the oceans, or touched the moon by playing it safe. Ready for the big vision and the closing rally? Just say the word,